If you are really worried about your thesis defense, take a deep breath. Possibly the word defense is actually not really well chosen, and we should rather call it thesis conversation or thesis coffee chats. Keep in mind that no one during the defense is out there to get you. The defense is rather meant as a final time during which you can present your enthusiasm and your knowledge about a topic you have done research upon over the past couple of months. Within this video, I would like to present to you some tips that will enhance your inspiring presentation during your defense, and that may actually even optimize your presentation skills. So these tips were summarized from the book Talk Like TED, and I will summarize them for you, going through them one by one. In total, I will present to you 9 tips that will make you master the art of public speaking. I will go through these 9 one by one and see which are the ones that can help you to bring across your thesis defense. First of all, it's time to unleash the master within. And with this, I mean that you need to be able to express your passion and your inspiration towards a topic. Passion is actually really the thing that helps you to create the highest expression of your own talent. And are you able to bring that connection across? In the end, you will not be able to convince any of the assessors if you don't have that meaningful connection to your topic and if you don't know why you conducted the research in the first place. So make sure that during the defense, you show the assessors that you actually got quite psyched about the topic, that you know what you're talking about, that somehow this topic is connected to you. So make sure that as of the beginning, you create this meaningful connection by opening in a creative, inspiring way so that you directly show them why this is your topic and why it was meaningful towards you. I still remember the moment when I had to do my thesis defense. I was standing in the small hall in the tower of the Sibeliuslaan, not knowing whether I should drink another cup of coffee or maybe a glass of water. My hands were shaking. I started to sweat. But then the moment was there that the door opened and I had to do my presentation. And from the moment that I walked into that door, I knew what I was talking about. Why? Because I knew what kind of research I conducted. So I just started talking about everything that I did. And by the end of my presentation, one of the assessors even said, "Your presentation was way better than your report. And this is why you actually optimized your grade as well." See what I did there? I captured your attention by telling a story about something that I experienced. And over the last couple of years, you may have heard more about the concept of storytelling. And actually, brain scans have revealed that stories stimulate and engage a listener's brain, making them more engaged in your presentation. So try to tell stories during your thesis defense about something you have experienced, or maybe one of the stories of your participants. So by doing so, you actually connect the audience to your presentation. And this is then in the end the ultimate tool of persuasion as well. So make sure that you use stories and you directly set the hook instead of solely presenting facts and figures in the most boring sense. Did you know that the best TED Talk performers have practiced their presentations relentlessly for over 200 times? So make sure that you internalize your content before actually delivering it. Practice it, and practice it. Practice it with your friends, your parents, your relatives, and make sure you get the feedback on how to optimize your presentation. What I always say is that you need to be able to deliver the presentation in a way as you are having a conversation with a good friend at a bar. So think about your rate of voice. Think about the volume. Think about the pitch of your voice. And also make sure to pause once in a while. Make sure that you teach your audience, in your case the assessors, something new during the thesis defense. I mean, to be honest, we have all read your thesis. We know what is in there. So why even bother to present everything all over again? Your mission during the thesis defense is to educate, to inspire, and to inform us. So possibly you have conducted some additional research in the period between the go, no-go and the defense. Or maybe you dove a little bit more into design thinking and how you can use design thinking tools in order to enhance your advice and recommendations. Or maybe you have even implemented parts of the advice already at the case company and you can present this to us. Make sure that you inspire, that you show something new. And can you deliver some more excitedness during this presentation? Are you able to deliver a jaw-dropping moment? According to scientists, this is called an emotionally competent stimulus. And it means that you create an emotional response in your audience during your presentation. So how can you actually be forgetting where you put your keys in the morning, but you still remember where you were on 9/11? This is because an emotion is attached to it. So what you try to do is that you try to create joy or surprise or frustration, maybe even during the presentation, somehow that you connect to the audience as emotionally stimulus response. Bill Gates has created one of the most famous TED Talks in which he released a bunch of mosquitoes from a jar. He was talking about malaria, and what he said was, there is no reason only poor people should experience this. And of course, these weren't real mosquitoes, but the people in the audience went mad. And they directly remembered the presentation because it created this emotional response. Of course, here I don't mean that you need to bring some wild animals during your presentation. However, what you could do is you present something. You make your presentation memorable by presenting a prototype or maybe showing some visual examples. So further, I would say, please make sure to lighten up a little bit during your presentation. There's no need to take everything too serious. Lighten up a bit and make sure you become a bit more likable and you lower your defenses by maybe integrating some humor. Very important to make that connection to your audience as well by, well, loosen up a bit, creating a little bit more of an informal atmosphere. Make sure that you practice relentlessly so that you can stick to the designated time slots. Don't make your presentation too long or too draining, because then you will lose your audience. Einstein actually once said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. You know what they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And it's true, because I guess all of you guys remember one of the lecturers that tried to put a whole encyclopedia on one single slide. Did they inspire you? Did they capture your attention? I guess not. Most of the times, the presentations that you remember the most were the ones that told a story around the pictures that were presented. So make sure that you enhance your presentation by showing pictures, by showing graphs, by showing visuals. Really make sure to limit your amount of text. And finally, maybe the most important one, stay true to yourself during your presentation. There's no need to impress us, but be open, be authentic, be vulnerable. It is really okay to be nervous and to show us that you're a little bit insecure. So make sure that during this presentation, you show the true you leave your own mark, and you show us that you are able to graduate and hence step into the real open wide world.